what is the ultimate expression of your joy in terms of just the way that you process it in business? What is that ultimate expression for each of you?
I think every one of us has a calling. I think every one of us, when we ask, what are the gifts I've been given, the natural gifts I've been given, not stuff that I've really got to work at, and how can I apply those in my own life, and how can I apply those to help others? And we have products and services, that we can help. And for me personally, I've been given some gifts of communication, to be able to take information and synthesize it in a way that people can get it. And if they're serious about moving from one place to the other in business, for example, which is where I play, I show them a process to do that. And as we were laughing about before, I'm a bottom line type of person. If you want to go to Z, do you want to go through to Z from A, B, C, D, E, all the way through every single step? Or if there's a way to get from A to Z faster, do you want to go there? I'm really good at going from A to Z as fast as you can. Right. But if somebody wants to go from A, then to B, then to C, I'm probably not the right guy for doing that. And so for me, it's like it's all about speed while enjoying the process. Right. And I'm, I think, very compassionate in a very strict way. There's no differently than with my children. When my children say, I really want to get better at baseball. So I say, great, here's the 5 steps to do to get better at baseball. And I've got one son that follows the 5 steps. Another son has to take him 15 steps. And for me, it's like, okay, that's his process. It's his way. And guess what? He wants to be left alone to do that. And so to learn, my biggest lesson is to learn, how everybody goes through their learning, right? Because I've got my learning, and so I want to do it this way. And so that's the fun part for me. That's where I'm growing now.
For me, it's a matter of service. When you ask, how do I approach it in terms of business? And I was thinking about the whole issue of money recently, and thinking that money is in many ways, it's simply a measure of the service that we're providing to others. Money, but the business is really an exchange of value, right? I give something of value to you, and you give something of value back to me. That's really what it comes down to. The more value I provide, now they're increasingly. It's true that when you provide real value in exchange for real value, then both parties win and benefit from that. There was a time, Bernie Madoff and others, where there was perceived value provided in exchange for monetary value returned, and that ends up in disaster always. So I feel fortunate. One of the things I love about the Masters Gathering is bringing together people like John and others who really have the vision of a holistic vision of where we are in life and what it takes to be successful in business in that exchange of value by providing real value. And money is kind of a measure, and so for me, business is about how can I serve. Same place that John was speaking from. How can I serve? How can I support others? And our unique angle is just it's relative to our passions. Those things that what is it that makes you unique? Because what we've found with the passion test, when people go through and identify the things that are most important to them, that are most meaningful to them, then they begin to connect with their soul's purpose. Even if they don't know, if someone asks them, what's your purpose, they may not know. But when they follow their passions, we say your passions are like breadcrumbs that lead you on to fulfill your purpose in life. And as they follow those passions, what they discover is they come down the road and they look back and they say, oh my God, my life really does feel purposeful now. It feels like I'm connected to things that really matter. Because your passions connect you to your own unique gifts, to your special. John, thank God there are people like John. Thank God there is John in particular. Because
thanks, Mom.
We all need the ability to get to the bottom line quickly. If we spend all of our lives going here and there and everywhere, we never get to anywhere. And we need John to help us be able to move from the place of where we are to where we choose to be. There are skills that are required, and John provides that kind of knowledge, that skill, that ability, that once I know that I have unique gifts, how do I provide that in a way to others that there can be that exchange of value? Because if there's no exchange of value, if there isn't a flow going on, then no matter how full my heart is, At some point, I'm going to run out, and I've got nothing more to give. I can only give what I have to give. So there has to be that flow, that exchange of value, in order for me to be able to give my unique gifts, for any of us to give our gifts. And one of the great things that I see that John does is he gives people the skills and the ability to take their gifts and then actually move them into action, to create that flow so that they can give them in a much bigger way.
It's interesting, as Chris is talking about passions, and she's brilliant at, is I'm thinking, one of the things I used to have a really hard time doing is letting somebody else pay for dinner, for example. I used to always pay. And I was actually doing them a disservice.
Right.
And so when you talk about there's got to be an exchange, right, sometimes it's not monetary.
Right.
Sometimes you give somebody by allowing them to give their gifts.
Absolutely.
As well. And I had the hardest time when I was younger, especially. Now I'd let anybody who wants to pay.
No problem.
Whoever wants to pay, come on. You ante up for change. And I think that could be somebody else. I actually have a passion for giving, and I love it. It makes me feel
that's part of what we do. Yeah.
You know, I love to give, and I teach my children. I was interviewed last night. I was telling Vishen, who just a wonderful, wonderful man. I was telling him, I said, I've taught my children to be go-givers and go-getters.
Right.
So go pursue what you want, and then give and give and give. And they've got that mentality now. And I think that's when we can get that balance, as you said, when there's that flow of I'm giving, and I'm gaining. The one thing that I have learned that I love your inputs in is just because I give to you doesn't mean you're going to give to me.
That's true.
And what I've found with the universe
somebody else, right?
is, we've had some challenges recently with our businesses we were talking about, with some of the structures and the mistakes that we've made.